Well, Queens had a really great season this summer for international competition. We had 5 athletes selected to national teams, which I think, comparing to any other university, is the highest percentage of athletes that did try out. Um, there was, I think, what was it? It was 3 of us at U23s, um, or actually, sorry, 4 of us at U23s. 3 of those being international debuts, me myself included, and then a one returnee, second time on the U23 team, and then actually we had 2 people move up. So Gavin Stone moved up to the senior team and competed with them this summer, and then Alex Burns moved on to the Pan Am team, so a little bit up from U23s as well. Overall, just a pretty incredible performance. But we did have Louise Monroe, so one of the Queen's athletes, this is her second year on the U23 team, was 4th in the women's singles, so probably one of the most difficult events to compete in because you're all by yourself, and she was 4th in the world. So, I mean, what can you say about that? Like, it's pretty crazy just for her, for Queens, and for rowing Canada. So, yeah, like you said, there is a lot of turnover this year, so we had a bunch of those athletes that I mentioned earlier actually graduate or move on to try to pursue athletics full time while putting their degree on hold. So as far as returning athletes, we've only got a few, and a few of them are people who have just recently started rowing. So people have moved up from the TID program, so they have a bit more experience than, say, the rookies that are coming in. But overall, I'd say we have a pretty a new team. So the biggest issue with that is that not really an issue, I'd say, but the biggest challenge is transferring the experience from the more senior athletes. I know there are a few of us. There's a lot of experience to share, and move that on to bring up the rookies and maybe the people that are moving out of the talent identification program, and push them up to the level that we kind of hope that the whole team can achieve. Sorry, it's a fairly fresh team. I'm really excited about what we have in store. Just last weekend at the National Rowing Championships, we had Claire Allison win the junior women's single overall, so the fastest U19 in Canada. And then we had Andrew Hubbard, another one of our rookies, silver in the U19 singles. So really great, considering that this is their first year at Queens. They've got 3.5 more years to kind of improve themselves, and I can see a lot of other athletes. Like we had a bunch of athletes that didn't decide to go, but I'm sure we would have seen some great performances overall. I'm pretty partial to Head of the Tri myself, being from Peterborough, so it's kind of like a chance to go home for me and to see, and for some of my family and friends to see races where they usually wouldn't make the effort necessarily to come out to some of our further away races. But I also think Head of the Trend is probably one of the best ways you can kick off the season. It's a bit of a longer race, so a bit harder, but you do have, like you mentioned, that area right through the canal where you've got probably around 100 people about 5 feet away from you on either side just cheering you on and screaming. Really kicks off the season well, and puts you in a good position to continue on to race in the shorter distance that we have for the rest of the season. So Head of the Trent's about just over 4 kilometers, I believe. And then the regular racing distance is 2 kilometers. So it's a bit of a different race, but it's definitely the best atmosphere I think that we have for the entire season.